From translation, Net New English Translation. This 287th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Matthew 27 to 28. Matthew chapter 27, verses 1 to 66. When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus to put him to death. After tying him up, they led him away and handed him over to Pilate the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus had been condemned, he regretted what he had done and returned the 30 silver coins to the chief priests, saying, "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." But they said, "What is that to us? You take care of it yourself." Judas threw the silver coins into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priests picked up the silver coins and said, "It is not lawful to put these in the temple treasury, since they are blood money." So they conferred together and bought the potter's field with them, as a burial place for strangers. For this reason, that field has been called the field of blood to this day. Then what was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. And they took the 30 silver coins, the price of the one whose price had been set by the people of Israel, and they gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord directed me. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "You say so." But when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, "Do you not hear how many things they are testifying against you?" He did not answer him with a single word, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the feast the governor was accustomed to release one prisoner for the people, whomever they wanted. At that time they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had assembled, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release for you, Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus who is called Christ?" He knew that they were motivated by envy. As he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent a message to him, "Have nothing to do with that innocent man, because I suffered greatly today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus put to death. But the governor said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what should I do with Jesus who is called Christ?" All of them said, "Crucify him." He asked, "Why? What wrong has he done?" But they shouted more insistently, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was starting, he took some water, washed his hands before the crowd and said, "I am innocent of this man's blood. You see to it." And all the people said, "His blood be on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas for them, but after he had Jesus flogged, he handed him over to be crucified. The governor's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's residence and gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after braiding a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand, and kneeling before him, they mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat on him and took the staff and struck him repeatedly on the head. When they had mocked him, they stripped the robe off him and put his own clothes back on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they were going out, they found a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry Jesus' cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of the skull, they gave him wine mixed with gall to drink, but after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided his clothes by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept guard over him there. Above his head they put the charge against him which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then 2 outlaws were crucified with him, one on the right and one on the left. Those who passed by defamed him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who can destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way the chief priests, along with the experts in the law and elders, were mocking him. They said, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him if he wants him, for he said, 'I am God's son.'" The outlaws who were crucified with him also spoke abusively to him in the same way. From noon until 3 in the afternoon darkness came over all the land. About 3 o'clock Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani?" That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing there heard this, they said, "He is calling for Elijah." Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, "Leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah will come to save him." Then Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. And look, the curtain of the temple was torn in 2 from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that happened, they were extremely terrified and said, "Truly this man was God's son." Many women who had followed Jesus from Galilee to care for him were there, looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea, named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut into the rock. Then he rolled a great stone across the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb. The next day, which was after the preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember that deceiver said while he was still alive, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' Therefore give orders to secure the tomb until the 3rd day. Otherwise his disciples may come and steal him away and tell the people, 'He has been raised from the dead,' and the last deception will be worse than the first." Pilate said to them, "You have a guard of soldiers. Go, make it as secure as you know how." So they went with the guards and secured the tomb by sealing the stone. Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 to 20. After the Sabbath, at dawn on the 1st day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. And look, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came, and rolled away the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. And the guards shook violently and became like dead men. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, just as he said. Come and see the place where he was lying. Go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead. He is going ahead of you into Galilee. You will see him there. Listen, I have told you." So they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." They came up, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and they will see me there." While the women were going, some of the guards went into the city and told the chief priests everything that had happened. After they had assembled with the elders and conferred together, they gave a large sum of money to the soldiers, telling them, "Say his disciples came during the night and stole his body while we were asleep. If this matter reaches the governor's ears, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So they took the money and did as they were instructed, and this story has been spread among the Jews to this day. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age."